So what we're going to discuss now is about the philosophy of Krav Maga, different than martial arts, karate, jiu-jitsu, combative fighting sports as Thai box, classic boxing. We're going to talk about their fighting stance and their whole philosophy. First, Nia, I want you to show us a couple of fighting stance. First of all, if you can show us a fighting stance of classic karate. Okay, so here you're in a
really wide stance, really like really balanced wide stance.
Okay.
What's a problem here that's less good for the street maybe is that a less possibility to move, like a much smaller stance.
No. So here, Sneer, as you're saying, you're wide, but on the other hand, you have less possibility and less
mobility,
freedom to move away. Okay, please show us a fighting stance of jiu-jitsu.
Bit similar.
Okay, please show us a fighting stance of Thai box.
Thai boxing.
Okay, so here you can see his chin tucked in, he's bending his knees, his hands cover the face, of course. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys a simple fighting stance that's come from Krav Maga. No man, leave me alone, I don't want to fight. Come on, leave me alone. I don't want to fight. Pay attention that I was able to surprise Sneer here. So that's what we're going to be talking about. All the fighting stance that Sneer showed us, he is actually showing me, man, I am ready to fight. You see someone aggressive in front of you, you see someone that maybe actually is going to initiate a move, and the attacker is understanding psychologically here that there is a fight going on. First of all, on the street, we want to understand that this is the last thing we want to do, okay? And guys, what you're going to train in the training, what you're going to practice and create your muscle memory is going to be what you do in reality, okay? So, first of all, we can say that on the street, we have never seen someone walking like this, first. Second of all, if I do see my attacker, this is right. You want to get into kind of a fighting stance in order to cover your face because you just don't want to be here when you feel in danger. But on the other hand, we do not want to show the attacker in a street fight, let's fight. If we can avoid it, Sneal, you're my attacker now, and I'm doing something like this, right? Now, you're not necessarily in a fighting stance. Maybe you're here, getting aggressive, and I'm telling you, man, calm down. What do you understand from me psychologically here?
You don't want to fight.
I don't want to fight, so maybe I can end the fight right here, telling him, please, man, leave me alone. And pay attention that I also keep the distance. If he's going to get closer to me, I can also use this hand for defense. Whoop. If he's getting just closer to me, I can also use this hand in order to push him away. Feel the distance of the attacker. I can also from here, no, man, leave me alone. I don't want to fight. Boom! Attack a very quick and surprising pump strike to his nose, chin, or maybe a kick. So the idea of, and the main difference between all the fighting stances that you showed us Neil, to the Krav Maga one is that the Krav Maga, you're going to psychologically tell him, I don't want to fight, maybe you can finish it there. Second of all, you're not losing, most important and for all, the element of surprise. And the element of surprise is the most important moment that you can actually surprise the attacker, strike, kick, and maybe go home safe. I'm gonna give you two different scenarios that happens on the street. You guys please think with us, what would be more common? Scenario number one, someone comes, punch someone's, okay? Sneal, do not react even. Boom, someone punch, and that's a knockout, I leave. Or maybe scenario number one, someone tries to punch, the other one does maybe a defense, maybe moves back simply, and then they're both fighting with each other, and then they're headlocking each other, and then they're bear hugging, they're on the ground, their friends are coming, and it's a whole party, okay? And of course you can guess, what we see mostly on the street is less direct knockout. And the reason is that because the attacker showed his move, and basically showed the other person, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to strike you. The other person simply moved back. You don't have to be a professional or simply block with his hands, right? And we here both understand that there is a fight going on. Instead of that, right here I was losing the element of surprise. Instead of that, what we want to do in Krav Maga is be in a hidden fighting stance. When you tell him on one hand, I don't want to fight, but if you need to fight back in order to survive, boom! And one strike to the nose can break the nose. One strike to the jaw, chin can create a severe damage, knock out the person. One kick to the groin, as we know, all those weak spots that we use in self-defense of Krav Maga can definitely neutralize the attacker, and I can run away. We have to understand that Krav Maga is a system of self-defense. It's not a martial art. A martial art, we have the word art into it. That means something artistic, traditional, aesthetic. Okay, on the street when someone attacks us, we don't want to do anything that is, we don't care about doing anything beautiful, traditional, aesthetic, or spiritual. Krav Maga is also not a sport. A sport always has rules, a judge, and a reward. On the street, when you're fighting, when you have to save your life, when you have to help your loved one, there are no rules. There's no judge, no gloves, and not even a reward. Okay? So the idea of Krav Maga was created for only purposes of self-defense. So the idea is that there's no traditional move that goes from generation to generation that we have to stick to. Krav Maga can always adapt to the reality. We can always be innovative, change, upgrade the system, and that's what most Krav Maga systems do. Now, Snil, let me ask you. You've been doing karate for, as you told me, at least
20 years.
20 years. Jiu-Jitsu for how long?
Jiu-Jitsu I'm doing for 15 years.
For 15 years. And professional combative sports for?
25 years.
25 years. So let me ask you that. In karate, there is any defense that can be changed, or it's always the same defense that comes from Japan that will go generation to generation?
Normally we have the same we have the same defense, same offense, same system. You have each stream in karate, like Shotokan, like Yokoshoshin, each stream of it have a different changes, but each one have this same I would say traditional build out of the syllabus of how you work with. So they don't change it. The small change that you do have is the sensei that make it in the gym, that see some small thing that he like to do more than other people and commit it to his karate. But there is not a change that you can make for the global
and what about
karate association.
Jiu-Jitsu? Is it going to be about the same?
Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is the same.
Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is going to be about the same. So we can see that these are basically two of one of maybe the biggest streams of martial arts, karate and Jiu-Jitsu, the mother and fathers of martial arts that comes from Japan. Now, the things are traditional. In Krav Maga, we can learn from anyone. Sometimes I learn from my own students, and I can see something that can work better. And we don't care if our instructor taught us this way. We care about what would be effective for the street. So the idea is to be open-minded, to offer a technique to your friend, to your instructor, to your students, discuss about it and see what will work in order to save lives.
Yeah. Actually, the Japanese martial arts, mostly martial arts, the old ones, are really, you can say, religious and jealous. Like, because if I'm the master and I have my student, there is, in the old times and still today in a lot of places, they're not allowed to learn other techniques in other places. They're not allowed to learn in other ways because they need to be fully believe and do the traditional and the techniques that we teach, that they need to follow from.
Thank you. Thanks. So as we said here, Krav Maga does come from all those martial arts, the source of it, and we definitely took out of it and built a system. But the main difference in the philosophy here is a complete self-defense in order to protect yourself, your loved one, that can always be upgraded and innovated. And here is a system that is more artistic, more traditional,
more closed.
that is close, as you're saying, that of course we love it, We are training in it, but we have to understand that if we want to learn pure self-defense for only purposes of surviving in sometimes a real-life danger, Krav Maga would be effective for that. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining our Krav Maga class. You guys can stay tuned and check out our Facebook and YouTube page and learn more Krav Maga tips and lessons. Thank you.